All Wisdom, Aristotle. Chapter 1. Raised in the we, thrive in the I. National culture cannot be changed, but you should understand and respect it. Geert Hofstede. In the early 2000s, I worked in the consulting industry for one of the top 5 consulting firms. Typically, consultants worked as a team and traveled together to various companies and client sites. One evening, a senior consultant named Tom asked me to help with research and finalize a presentation that was due the next day. Of course, I had to help and stayed in the office with him until 11 p.m. We worked tirelessly to finalize a presentation for a very important meeting the next morning. I felt confident about my contribution and was excited to receive accolades for my work. I arrived bright and early the next morning, and as I walked into the conference room, the presentation was already underway. What happened? Did the meeting start early? Did Tom forget to text me and let me know to arrive an hour earlier? Did I oversleep? My head was spinning with all of the possible scenarios. Not only did Tom lie about when the meeting started, but he also made no mention of my contribution. He wanted to receive recognition for our collective work without sharing the limelight. We were a team and worked collaboratively, but he decided to take full credit for the work. I didn't know how to speak up and communicate my contribution to the presentation, so I said nothing. There have been countless times in my life when similar situations have occurred, where I expected to operate as a we and also as an I. It's confusing for anyone, but it's even more confusing when you come from a collective culture where the we is celebrated and the I is shunned. I first heard about collective and individual cultures in a class in graduate school. Dr. Lee Kneffelkamp, lovingly known as Dr. K, was my professor of intercultural communications in my master's program at Columbia University. As Dr. K lectured on Hofstede's cultural dimensions, I felt a massive epiphany wash over me. There are a total of 6 cultural dimensions, but there's one in particular that illuminates a pivotal reason why Asian and South Asian women resist speaking up and self-promoting. We are expected to embrace and reside in the we and dim the light on the I. The dimension is referred to as individualism versus collectivism. According to Geert Hofstede, individualism can be defined as a preference for a loosely knit social framework in which individuals are expected to take care of only themselves and their immediate families. Its opposite, collectivism, represents a preference for a tightly knit societal framework in which individuals can expect relatives or members of a particular in-group to look after them in exchange for unquestioning loyalty. A society's position on this dimension is reflected in whether people's self-image is defined in terms of the I or we. The countries that score very high on the individual dimension are the United States, Australia, Great Britain, the Netherlands, France, Germany, and other European countries. The countries that score very low on the individual dimension, considered collective cultures, are India, Japan, Russia, Arab countries, Mexico, and China. Hofstede is by no means implying that everyone in a given society is programmed the same way. There are considerable differences between individuals. However, according to the intercultural dimensions, we can still use the research to broadly generalize societal norms of cultures. How did individualism versus collectivism first play out for me? My folks migrated from India to the United States in the late 70s. India is a highly collective society and is based heavily on the we, while the United States is a highly individual society and is based heavily on the I. My folks wanted to retain the culture of the we so much that my brother and I were not allowed to say, "This is my toy." We had to say, "These are our toys." We were taught to share, make decisions as a family unit, and most importantly, worry extensively about what others thought. What will our relatives say? What will our relatives think about us? As I stepped out of the home into other environments, school, my friends' homes, community events, I consistently danced between the we and the I. At home, self-identity was not cultivated nor encouraged. The emphasis was on harmony, sharing of resources, and readiness to give up personal interest for the collective interest. Outside the home, the emphasis in school was on self-sufficiency.